David, how much of your decision is about the things you're talking about now? It's just a much different sport that you're trying to coach in now. And how much of it is just the performance hasn't been what you wanted it to be the last few years?
Good to see you, Stuart. It doesn't have to be either one of those. And I would be wrong to say that to some degree those played into it, but those weren't the main things. The main thing is what I said. Many of you in this room, I recognize some of you that have covered the sport for a while. Head coaching years, I think, are only second to president years, right? I mean, 1 year is like 5. My first 9, honestly, there's a lot of success. It was still hard. Those are long years. And I grew up in the NFL really before I came to college. And I was in the NFL 2 years out of college and 9 years in the NFL. The one thing about the NFL is that when the season's over, the season's over. My wife and I would talk, like, sometimes she would just say, okay, you got time, and I would just sleep. I would just sleep for days, just days. And then she would say, are you here yet? And I would say, no, not yet. A couple days later, you back? And I would say, I'm back. She said, okay, I got a list of things for you to do, right? Because we had an off season. There's no such thing as an off season in college football. College coaches, and thankfully there's some common sense in the last, 6 months. We put a dead period in after this last week, because otherwise coaches would be on the road tomorrow or Monday. As is right now, that we're going to be on the road on Friday. So for some it's Friday, it's on the road, come back, bowl game, get a couple days off, back on the road again, come back, get ready for spring football. And the next break you get is spring break. So 16 years of running the program, 16 years of being responsible for everything and everybody catches up to you. I am not burnt out by any stretch of the imagination. I'm healthy and feel good. But at the same time, 16 years is a long time. 12 as a head coach, 16 here. So proud of our accomplishments, so proud of our student athletes, so proud of the guys that have gone on and done other things in the NFL and outside of the NFL in different walks of life. But like I said, the phrase just kept coming back to me that gave me peace, which was, it's time.
I know you said it's time, but what is it? What will you miss about this job? Obviously, it's meant a lot to you and you've done it for so long. What are you gonna miss most?
That's the easy part. It's people. I just talked about it. This place attracts special people, and it took me so long to come up here because here's a 3-win team who is just in tears and appreciative of not just me, but what the staff has done with these young men. That was probably the hardest part about the decision. Love going to work every single day. I say this, and I've said this at this podium before, there's certain places that you work and certain people that you work with sometimes that you get to the door and you grab the door handle and you go, okay, here we go, and you walk in. Never happened here in 12 years. Hadn't happened. Just walk in the door every single day. Love the staff, both coaches and non-coaches. Love this team, the guys, the personalities, the intelligence, the silliness. That was the hardest part about this decision, is there are some young players on this team that I really, really wanted to coach. Really, really wanted to finish their arc. Every player has an arc. And there's some young guys on this team, especially in the freshman, sophomore classes, that haven't even scratched the surface yet that I think are going to be special. And that was a hard part. But at the same time, it was time.